Your hands are stupid.
My name is Thet. I'm a writer. I like to find out about stuff.
Is a banana a tree or grass?
This is Vic, my producer. She doesn't know a lot of stuff.
And then it's minimum, right?
Minuman means drink.
We investigate,
The small building.
stop,
Oh,
search high and low
how do we know that?
to find answers to some silly questions.
So chili crab is from robber crabs, ah?
Why are they called sperm whale?
No matter how weird things get.
And when you turn off that microphone,
Wow, it's pouring.
Don't drink and drive.
Oh, wow.
Do you have a pen knife?
Together, we deep dive into stuff we don't know about.
Hate that. Okay. I'm gonna die here.
You might not know about it too.
Disgusting.
Now you do.
Diamlah. Deep dive. Singapore has a high density of playgrounds across the island. That abundance is by design. The Housing Development Board, or HDB, considers playgrounds the little hearts of communities in HDB estates.
It makes me look a real creep.
My editor and I visited a couple of these playgrounds. This playground in Admiralty has 26 slides. And look at this intricate ship playground in Punggol. Or this straight-up obstacle course in Dawson.
Oh no, careful. Is it army propaganda?
It seems like our sense of play and adventure has only evolved as our communities grew. Only someone who's incredibly bitter and resentful would find something wrong with this.
I think there's something wrong with this. Last time playgrounds were so much better.
You cannot just be satisfied with something for once in your life.
Vic agrees with me wholeheartedly.
I really don't.
I wonder where I can find the oldest HDB playground. In Singapore? Or somewhere else? Obviously, the first thing to do was to ask HDB where the oldest still standing playground is. But it will take some time for them to get the information. So we decided to see what we can find out ourselves.
So I managed to find some information on what could be Singapore's oldest playground. Apparently it was built in the 1920s and it was in Dhoby Ghaut. Kind of looks just like a bunch of sticks tied together. Finding information on this was quite easy, quite Googleable, but finding an actual older playground might be a bit hard. I guess really old playgrounds would have been demolished, right?
Even the Toa Dragon only recently attained heritage status, saving it from demolition, a fate that has fallen on many of its brothers and sisters.
I think it's only a matter of time, before this is gone, redone.
If you're older and you can fall, it's terrifying.
And it's the sand, it's the sand ground.
And there was like a bunch of dragon playgrounds for some reason. I didn't know there were so many dragon playgrounds in Singapore.
One of the most famous designers during that era was Mr. Khor Yen Gi, who had no prior experience designing playgrounds, but came out with some of the most memorable designs like the dragon and the dove in the late 1970s.
Why must it be a dragon? And is this Singapore's oldest surviving playground? I mean, it doesn't look that old, right?
I don't know, but besides the dragon, Mr. Khor also transformed other Singapore icons like the bumboat and the rickshaw into playgrounds. The bumboat playground especially was inspired by Pasir Ris's...
Pasir Ris.
You got it wrong as well. The bumboat playground was inspired by the Resort by the Sea theme in Pasir Ris. They are all really recognizable, and that might have been a purposeful design choice.
We approached some playground specialists to find out a little more.
Which one? Yeah. Dragon playgrounds. What do I think about dragon playgrounds? The dragon is like iconic. Traditionally, dragons are like the number one animal. Everyone respects a dragon. So a dragon playground is icon of power, everything representing number one. I would hope that that playground can be there forever.
Dragon Playground.
Uh-huh.
As a playground visual icon, I think it's very successful. But as a space, I think that it can be much improved. Because if you go there now, it is pretty much sitting there as a sort of a monument-like feature. I don't see a lot of children playing. So I think what could make that interesting is that if it actually turns beyond just a visual icon to go and take photos with and then leave, then that space becomes a bit more meaningful to the public.
When HDB came to be, right? Do you know where the first HDB built playground was?
You're older, you answer this.
A very difficult question. Some of the first earlier housing estates was like Bill Crescent, Red Hill area, right? They had all kinds of steel climbing structures, and those were built by local contractors. So they just built whatever way they felt would be fun for children. Things that children can get together, climb, socialize. Those were the originals of playgrounds. So over time, playgrounds developed and
According to HDB, they had different plans for different decades. Currently, it's thematic playgrounds.
Oh wow.
For example, this swamp playground in Payoh, which used to be real swampy. Or this military playground in Choa Chu Kang that pays homage to the army camps that once occupied the site. In the 2000s, HDB focused on family play, where playgrounds and fitness corners were built side by side, so the parents could work out and the kids could play. In the 90s, proprietary play was all the rage. For all you non-playground aficionados, this means playgrounds were designed by play equipment specialists, which allowed more kids to play and met new safety standards. Speaking of safety, playgrounds in the 70s and 80s were built with concrete and tiles and were heavily inspired by fruits,
What fruit is this even? Mango? Apple? Mango doesn't look like this.
vegetables, animals, and nursery rhymes. This is when some of our most iconic playgrounds were born. Finally, the 60s, when HDB first started building playgrounds. They had stuff like slides, swings, more slides, quite basic. I mean, in a way I get it, it's the 60s. HDB was just starting to get into its groove, trying out new things, etc. It even built its first HDB flats outside of Singapore on Christmas Island, an island that we administrated for a while. But while all of this is great, we still haven't found our oldest playground. But then HDB replied, yay! According to them, Toa Payoh Block Y has the earliest play structure built by HDB that was still standing.
So we hunted it down.
If the playgrounds were indeed the little hearts of the community, it is important to remember what was in the hearts of those who came before us. It might not look like much,
Duck. Duck. Still a duck.
but these basic play structures probably gave kids back then hours of fun and play, filling their little hearts with joy. And okay, we have a problem. We're supposed to end the episode with something like, oh, fun is fun, regardless of the era, wow, you know, that kind of poignant message. But we have a slight problem because, tell them, Vic.
It's not fun at all. You having fun? My butt's hot. I feel like a lot of the fun with these will just be like sitting on it.
Yes, unfortunately, try as we might, we just couldn't figure out how to have fun with these things. For reference, look how much fun Vic is having here. Versus here. Even in the picture from the 60s, the kids didn't look like they were having fun at all. So no offense to the 2 ducks and 3, I assume, demons, but it just doesn't seem really dynamic compared to other HDB playgrounds, even from the 60s. In fact, they labelled this as a play structure rather than a playground. Here's the difference. Flash. Say what you want about the Dragon Playground, but kids from back then seemed incredibly hyped to play in it.
I also found something, I think. It's this photo. This was in Toa Payoh. So it actually got a couple of comments from people saying that, yeah, I remember playing here. Yeah, I remember climbing it. Managed to get in contact with 2 of them. They agreed to be interviewed, so we'll see how it goes.
Do you by any chance remember those animals?
Yeah, I sit on it. Yes, I sit ever. Yeah.
Do you consider
Correct.
that playground to be fun?
Quite.
Oh, quite.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love those things.
Oh, you love those things?
Don't ask me why. If I showed it to my kids now, they'll say it's so lame, Mom. What the heck if you do with something that's stuck to the ground?
Victoria was trying to play with the thing, but we couldn't figure out how to play with the thing. It's just sitting on the
Right on it, right on it.
I just
right
right on it.
Go under, because back then there isn't much variety. So make do. Yeah. So definitely we will always think of how we actually can play with all this playground stuff.
Internet was, a far distant idea, right? So all we operated on was imagination, just fantasy, right? And we're imagining that, I'm a king or a queen, I'm fighting in a battle.
And then I'll pretend like that's my army. Like Game of Thrones. Oh, because they're...
We were pretty rough, and that thing wouldn't chip. It was an amazing structure.
Do you think that your playgrounds are like still better? You still prefer to play on your playgrounds if you were a kid?
So I consider they are quite blessed compared to ours. It's like we are more of the rough, rugged batch.
I think a mix of the two would have been a great thing to do. Keep some of the old, add something new. I can understand why they may have gotten rid of some because they are no longer attractive or, there's a safety issue. But I think a mix of old and new would have been very nice.
Actually, what were we thinking when we started this quest?
What were you thinking?
Singapore has gone through so many changes that it would be wow if a playground from 60 years ago was still here and in good condition. Ideally, we would need the playground to be 1. Built by HDB. 2. Not have been demolished and replaced with a more modern playground. 2 was the harder part. Impossible, I hear you and Victoria say.
Impossible.
Well, I beg to differ. Take a walk with me. HDB built their first housing units in 1960 at Queenstown, months after the board was set up. Other neighbourhoods included Commonwealth, Tanglin Halt, Bukit Ho Swee, Alexandra, MacPherson, St. Michael's, and Tanjong Rhu. But remember how during the 60s and early 70s they also built their first housing project outside of Singapore? It was on an island that used to be administrated by Singapore before it was eventually transferred to Australia. That's right, Christmas Island. At first the island looks unrecognisable. It has all these weird signs, but if you left click enough, another weird sign. Left click some more and is that Tanglin Halt from 1969? No. Wow. This is a settlement on Christmas Island called Pun San, where HDB built their first overseas block way back when. And if the buildings back then are still around, maybe, just maybe, we might be able to find our oldest playground there.
So you never guess what that messaged me. He said that he thinks that we should go to Christmas Island. He said it will be damn sweet one if we can go to Christmas Island just to find a playground. It's a 20-hour flight or so from what I could find. And it's insane. Who goes on a 20-hour flight just to find a playground? I really hope I don't sound like an idiot after I say this because they cut to us on a flight. I don't think so lah.
Behind the cloud, bro. Oh, Venga, why you think the sky?
Baby dress coming back too.
About 24 hours journey from Singapore to Christmas Island. Finally here, we arrived around like afternoon. Very tired. Ted already killed one crab.
Hey, don't say this kind of slanderous things.
Roll the clip now, pa. Tomorrow, we'll be meeting with Chris, who's gonna take us around the island and tell us a bit more about the history.
So we'll jump in the car, we'll go through settlement along the plateau.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Is it possible to go to, what's that, Pun San first, if it's possible?
Pun San first?
Because our main filming will be there. So
Yep.
we want to do that before it rains or something like that.
We can do that, most definitely. Pun San is our next suburb. You guys must know what that translates to. Halfway up the hill.
Ah.
It's the nearest staircase. You have a bit of a walk around if you like and show you some of the places. There is a type of dormitory type of set of apartments up the road that I'll show you as well, that some of them were in.
Oh, 501, that's the playground. We'll take a quick look. Yeah.
There's a vague familiarity to the neighborhood, from the coffee shop across the road to the chickens everywhere. The blocks bear a striking resemblance to those back home, as do their residents. It gave us a lot of hope that some things were stuck in time here. In fact, HDB confirmed what we had suspected. They did build a playground here, but this is it.
They renovated it.
Came all the way to... Can you like stand closer?
Yeah, let's do an over shoulder.
Yeah, over shoulder maybe. Instead, we came all the way. We filmed the playground. We came all the way. How many hours? 20 plus hours? And we didn't find any playground.
We found a playground now.
That's not the playground HDB-Built.
I never told you this, but I saw an image of them doing reconstruction work. You all know about that? Should I have told you all before you all hit the flight? I got the pictures. Hey, you can put in the picture, then you see Vic's face. That is the tone we are going for. That's the anger I want to see.
I want to kill them.
Yeah, I was afraid you have changed. That one is the same as the picture. I think what they worked on was the foundation. Yeah. Yeah. Go play there. We pretend this is the 60s. Yeah.
One day, there'll be this TV crew who comes to Christmas Island in search of like this old playground and they will never find it.
Don't do meta commentary. Just say one day I want to be president of Singapore.
One day I want to be president of Singapore.
Turns out, in a very Singaporean move, the playground had been renovated back in 2019. So we didn't manage to find the oldest HDB playground.
How do you play this? It's like a seesaw.
Yeah, you hop on. I think so stay on it. Jai, go!
Okay, it was quite fun.
Oh my god.
And isn't that what playgrounds are supposed to be?
Dude, I don't think it's possible. Oh, okay.
This is really fun. This is what playgrounds should be. I think all playgrounds in Singapore should have like swinging stuff.
I agree actually.
Yeah, I feel like swings. They should call it swings.
Oh, I wonder why nobody else in this lifetime has ever thought of that. Swings.